Hello and welcome to Voices of a Vic podcast with me, Ben Aiton, and Cameron Smart, and we are here to give a live reaction of Watford's 2-1 away victory at Loftus Road over Queen's Park Rangers. It was actually Watford's first win at Loftus Road since 2010 in the league. On that day, Watford ran out 3-1 winners with Danny Graham grabbing a brace and Jordan Much also getting on the scoreline. But of course, Watford won there 5 years ago in the FA Cup fifth round where Aiton scored that goal on the edge of the box to put us through to the quarterfinals where we beat Crystal Palace on that famous run to Wembley that year for Watford. But yeah, finally got a victory over QPR in a league. Me and Cam was just talking on there just before we came on. We had bad memories of QPR, especially last year. We both went to QPR away last year. Chris Wilder's first game in charge. Dreadful game last year, really, Cam, wasn't it? We didn't really turn up. Smash and grab maybe from QPR a little bit as well, but totally different today.
Yeah, it was a standard last season. It was a standard Watford away performance for what we'd been accustomed to. But I was sort of hoping things might be a little bit different. Now we got, the experience of Chris Wilder. He's sort of got a way of playing, but no, just falls flat on its feet immediately. Doesn't set us up for high expectations. And I think it was a given before then, but that's the game that sort of sold us. Yeah, we're not going anywhere, are we? As for this year, it wasn't perfect, was it? But
No.
Much more enjoyable.
It was more enjoyable, wasn't it? And I've put that down to the togetherness in this squad, like the grit and determination of grinding out results when your back's against the wall, especially that last 10, 15 minutes where we was throwing bodies on the line to head every ball out of the box because QPR had so many corners towards the end. But we'll dive into that in a little bit. But of course, we're here to talk about the QPR game, and we always start with the team news as well. So we'll start where the team news was announced at 11 o'clock because it was at 12 o'clock kickoff. Cam actually went to the game today as well. You said there was loads of queues trying to get into the ground today, Cam, wasn't there? What would you probably put that down to? It was just too many Watford fans because it was a good old following, wasn't there, today?
Yeah, there was, but I didn't know what it was down to. But I listened to the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes space earlier. There was someone saying they only had one kiosk open. So, yeah, it went down pretty quick. It wasn't too much of a problem.
Fantastic. Right, so yeah, the team news was out at 11 o'clock, and the Hornets actually made two changes to the side that beat Chesterfield in the FA Cup third round last weekend by 2-1. Ben Hamer came in, and also Ryan Andrews, and out went Daniel Batman and Ismail Kone. Val actually alluded to in the press conference, interview before the game, saying that Kone and Porteous were both ill during the week. That's why they both weren't featuring today, and they was on the bench. So that's probably why Kone was out off the side. But the ones to maybe look at here, Cam, is obviously Reece Healey getting back-to-back starts for Watford in his first league start in the Championship, and also Tom Delly being rewarded after his, I'll say, heroics in the second half against Chesterfield, because he really dragged us up that pitch with a scruff of the neck and got the winner, of course, but being rewarded with a start in midfield. But yeah, what was your thought about that starting lineup?
Yeah, well, I think first of all, Georgie Chakvetadze has more or less, sealed his space in the 11. So that other one is up for grabs with Deli Bashiru and Kone. Obviously, with Kone being ill, Deli Bashiru, he's got to be the one to come in. But I would have started him anyway because I thought he really deserved it after that Chesterfield performance, and he does give us a lot on the ball. He's very confident on the turn. End product needs a bit of finalising, and off the ball, I'm not sure there's enough there, but I really like what I saw from Deli Bashiru against Chesterfield, so why not give him a go? As for Healey, I was really surprised Healey started. He looked off the pace against Chesterfield. I thought, and he took a little knock to his knee, didn't he? So I thought, okay, we will be sticking with Rajovic, won't we? But no, and I think it speaks volumes about where Mileta Rajovic is at the moment, because there were rumours that there was a bit of disappointment within the club about him, and it's safe to say he's not the player we hoped he could be. So clearly, Valerian Ismail has seen that, and he's put faith in Healy, which is very uncharacteristic of him.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was pleased to see him get the start though. Although, like you say, he was a bit rusty really against Chesterfield, and if anything, I think he disappointed some fans with the performance, because there was lots of hype. A lot of fans were backing him. We believed in him, and he kind of let himself down maybe a little bit against Chesterfield. But I'm glad he got that start today, and also like you, Chapradeski as well, keeping him in the midfield. Obviously, if Kone's sick, Chat comes in, and he doesn't come in. He's been starting for about 4 weeks now, hasn't he, Cam? Ever since he said he didn't have the game time at Vicarage Road, he's been rewarded, and he's showing what he's capable of doing by putting in performances week in, week out. But yeah, we've got loads of comments in the chat already, so please keep them going. Katie saying hello, boys. Huge win today, still buzzing. Mike, evening, gents, as well. Mark Schofield, evening. He also saying that it's Philip's cousin here. Don't worry, Mike's not going to mess up tonight. He's not here. But yeah, what did you make of that start, Cam? I thought it was quite feisty. There was a lot of yellow cards early on in that game.
Yeah, there were. I think the ref did lose control a little bit. He was a bit inconsistent with his bookings. Maybe we'd make one foul, whereas they'd make 3 or 4, and we'd get the yellow. But it happens. I think there were probably quite a few yellows we could have had that we didn't get as well. The start, as you said, scrappy. There were times we struggled to get the ball off QPR, and we didn't really carry much of a threat in that first half. Very lackluster, and that's just how it's been for us lately, isn't it? We don't start games well. We're very much second half FC, which is why it's all well and good that we kept it 0-0 for a while.
No, we did, and it took ages for Watford to actually get that first opportunity, and it fell to Mateus Martins. Obviously, he was on the left-hand side, and everyone knows what Martins going to do. He's going to cut in on that right-hand side, and he tried to curl it into the top corner, but he actually missed by quite a fair distance in the end. But like you say, Cam, it was there was no flow really for Watford in that first half. We struggled to get any rhythm, and that might be down to how QPR were playing. Were you impressed with how QPR maybe prevented Watford from playing, or were you maybe just disappointed that Watford couldn't actually get out of first gear?
Well, I noticed a few things they do that put us under a lot of pressure. They seem to have Jack Colback man marking Tom Dele-Bashiru. It definitely kept Tom out of the game. And another thing, they were targeting Sierrauta with Armstrong. He ran him ragged all day. So I was impressed with their setup. I thought, they've clearly done their research. They know how to stop us from creating chances, as we have done so freely of late. But I thought we were quite sloppy. We were lackluster. We could have done a lot more. There was quite rightly a lot of moaning that we aren't getting the ball forward enough, and it's the same old, really. We get that a lot, but this time I think it was justified, and I think a lot of it's down to Sierrauta as well, because yes, he's a good natural defender. He's very good in the air. He doesn't get beat easy, but he just can't have the ball. He's not suited to this modern system, playing out from the back. He's very much a treat the ball like a hot potato. Whereas, Hoot and Porteous, when they're together, we've got 2 different outlets there that are going to get us playing forward into midfield. So, yeah, I think Porteous was a huge miss in that regard.
Yeah, I do think that Sierrauta has struggled off late. Chesterfield game off, I don't think it helped that he had Daniel Batman behind him, but I think he started off where he left off against Chesterfield, Sierrauta, and we'll get into the second half in a bit, but he was caught in possession, wasn't he, within seconds of that second half, and Sinclair Armstrong was so close to putting QPR ahead. And there's a few people in the chat already talking about Armstrong. You obviously being at the game today, Cam, and we don't tend to highlight opposition players in that, but there's lots of talk about Armstrong at the moment and being a youngster. How did you think he got on today against Watford? You obviously saw him live.
Well, yeah, I mentioned already they had that game plan. He very much stuck to Sierrauta's side. He stuck to Sierrauta and spun off him, and they were playing balls in behind, and they were getting a lot of joy off that. He's very much this typical sort of young championship winger where he's obviously got all the attributes to do well. You know, he's quick, he's strong, he likes to get in behind, but his end product just wasn't there, and thankfully for us, he squandered quite a few opportunities. There's certainly a player in there that could go on to have a good career at this level, but yeah, you'd want to see a bit more of the end product, the first touch. But yeah, good player, ran us ragged.
Yeah, good strength, great pace.
Yeah.
Did run up ragged. He's a rough diamond, isn't he? And we've got to remember he's so young as well. But yeah, I think QPR have got a player on there. Russ Putnam says the young lad Armstrong for QPR impressed him. Mike said, "I'll take Armstrong for us out of contract in the summer." Russ Putnam said, "Definitely would take him. Reminds me of Dyke from Barnsley and West Bromwich Albion." And then James says Armstrong 2 goals in 40 games. Must sign.
You can flip that the other way, because look at Rajovic. He's our top scorer, and he's clearly not quite ready for this level. So yeah, I wouldn't say goals are the be all and end all.
No, not at all. Obviously, he's offering more to the team at the moment, but you can see that QPR, they're crying out for a striker. And if they took their chances today, I don't think we'll be talking about a 2-1 victory today, because they got into good areas and had really good chances. They just didn't take them. We were talking about Armstrong a little bit there, because nothing really happened that first half. It was a bit of a feisty first half, lots of yellow cards. Mateus Martins had that one chance for Watford. And yeah, it was deadlock at half time. What was you expecting as a reaction for the second half, Cam? Was you hoping for any substitutions? Because obviously Val loves a halftime sub.
Yeah, the logical sub would have been bringing Kone on, but we don't know how ready he was, and evidently he wasn't ready to play. Otherwise, he might have got a few minutes. What we are used to is no matter who comes out for the second half, it is a much, much better team. They seem to have a much clearer plan, and it's overall a lot more effective. So, yeah, I knew, positive. We're at 0-0. We know we're going to get better second half, partly because we couldn't be much worse, but also because it's been the theme of late. We were awful first half at Preston, Blackburn, and come out second half, score the goals. It's how we've been doing it lately. So yeah, I had a feeling it wasn't going to end 0-0.
It wasn't going to end 0-0, no. And it didn't take too much longer after half time. 60 minutes, Watford took the league, and it was Jake Livermore with a wand of his right foot. He just guided that into that corner. I've watched it back so many times, and watching it live from the TV as well. It seemed to have taken a right old age to find the back of the net from when it left his foot. It was like it was in the air for hours. But what a strike from Jake Livermore, the coolest person in Loftus Roads. And he showed that with his celebration as well. But Cam, fantastic strike, fantastic leader, everything. Like, talk to me about Jake Livermore.
Yeah, I was right behind this one, sort of at the perfect angle to get the best view of it. And as you said, it went in slow motion. He placed it. There's not really any power on it, but it's perfectly placed. That is what happens when you shoot. We've been very, very critical on this podcast over the whole season. Why don't we shoot? Why do we always look for the extra pass or the extra a bit of flair. Why don't we shoot? This is why you do shoot. And
Yeah.
I just want to point out a stat that I saw on Twitter from Vic Bate. I don't know if you've seen it as well.
Yeah, I had it written down just in case.
Okay, sorry about that one.
No, carry on.
13 goals we've scored from outside the box this season. That's we only scored 4 last season, and we didn't score any the season before. So that just makes you think. And I've talked a lot on here about how we're very, very good at getting our midfielders into shooting positions. It's normally, Kone and Kayembe, they've got a good goal return. But Jake Livermore, it's not normally him on the end of these chances. And yet here he is, coming up with the goods. And no one deserves it more. I was buzzing for him when he got his goal against Stoke. But to go and get 2 today, it's excellent. And it's exactly what it's not what you expect from him, but
No.
It's brilliant. It's what he deserves.
Same as you. Like, I'm over the moon for Jake Livermore. Everyone wrote him off. Everyone and their dog wrote Jake Livermore off in the summer. We hold our hands up. We was like, Jake Livermore, surely we don't need him. His legs are gone. And Watford tweeted earlier saying legs are gone. But he just keeps on proving people wrong, proving his doubters wrong. And I absolutely love that about Jake Livermore. Write me off. All right, I'll show you what I can do. And to deliver today, and just when we needed it. And like you say, you're not going to score goals unless you shoot. And seeing that Watford has scored 13 goals from outside the box, it's just brilliant. That's what I want from my team. I want us to have opportunities where we just shoot when we have the chance to. I don't want us to do ticky-tacky football and try and walk the ball in the back of the net. And I know that's Mike's pet hate. So many times in the last couple of years, we tried to walk the ball in the back of the net. This time round, when we're getting the opportunity, we're trying it, and it came off. And Livermore, and 20 yards out, maybe Begovic couldn't really see it because of the players in front of him. I think Livermore kind of guided the ball round a couple of players, which was perfect for him. If you've got players in front of you, you're going to use the defenders to bend it round to make it hard for the keeper. But fantastic strike from Jake Livermore. And it was 5 minutes later, Cam, like, I had to rub my eyes. Jake Livermore got a second. Identical spot. And I imagine you was one of those shouting, shoot.
I was. we know what he can do now. We're expecting this every week. But this one, it actually looked from my angle that it took a deflection. But on the Sky highlights, I can't see any such deflection. It just looks like it goes through a lot of legs. It's not right in the corner, but Begovic, he sees it late, and we're lucky we weren't facing the Begovic that came to Vicarage Road in August, because that Begovic was saving nearly everything, and we still scored 4 goals. But yeah, Livermore again. I mean, it's brilliant, and it's midfielders shooting. It's exactly the same scenario, isn't it? And it ended up being the winner. I was absolutely gutted when Livermore got taken off, because I wanted him to get his hat trick. I mean, I wasn't thinking, oh no, what if it all goes to shit after this? What if, we lose control of the game? I was thinking, I want Livermore to get his hat trick.
He was on the hat trick, wasn't he? And I wanted. Imagine if Jake Livermore pops up with a hat trick, because he tripled his goal tally for the season as well. He obviously got that 1 goal against Stoke, and then he got 2 today, so he's up to 3 now. But yeah, I'm just absolutely buzzing for Jake Livermore, as you can tell by both our smiles on our faces. We love Jake Livermore. Like, what a pro. Mark Schofield says as well, Livermore is so important, and he will end up getting suspended or injured. So what, Ben Kayembe's injured, which is a good point as well. I was watching it at home, and I think they said when Jake Livermore picked up that yellow card today, I think that's potentially his 9th yellow card. And then is it you go up to 10, and then it's potentially maybe 2 yellow cards, is it?
I think it reset after maybe Boxing Day. So it'll be a clean slate now. So I don't know if he's been booked since Boxing Day before today, but that'll be a new sort of restart.
Let's hope so, because it's so important to this Watford side, and to think that he's the one that just sits and allows the attackers to get forward and have those opportunities. For him to pop up and score 2 goals is just fantastic. But I don't know about you, Cam. Well, I think you're probably going to think there's actually the same. That triple substitution that Val made, I think it changed the game. Porteous, Rivich, Pollock on for Livermore, Espria and Martins. Like I thought Martins was getting livelier in the game. I thought first half he weren't really there. Second half, he had the beating of his man on that left-hand side a couple of times, and he was involved with that Livermore second goal. Well, first goal as well. He got the assist for the first goal, so he was heavily involved in both goals. Espria, I thought he was really good today. I thought he was just that spark in midfield, especially in that first half. And Jake Livermore, it's Jake Livermore. We know what he brought to the team today. But did you think that kind of put us back on the back foot after those subs?
Yeah, look, about Martins, I didn't think he was great today. I don't think he's been great for the past sort of, since Ken's been injured. I don't think he's exactly covered himself in glory. But he was involved in both the goals, and it was a really good sort of drop of the shoulder for the second one, and a clever pick out for the first one. Let's give him credit. Probably one I would have taken off though. Espria, yeah, he was great, but I understand managing his minutes, and same for Livermore. I was gutted, as I said, when he came off, but I get managing his minutes when he's on a yellow. The people we brought on though, he does this sub quite often, doesn't he? He likes to bring on 2 extra centre backs and very much sort of close the shop. A lot of times I've said you're doing this too early, Val, and we've ended up going and getting a few more goals, i.e. Preston. He did it at 3-1. I thought, okay, are we safe here? We were. I thought it was definitely way too early today. We're only 2-0 up. We're away from home. I don't think you can completely close up the shop this early on. And I'd say it showed. I'd say it did show that we didn't have that attacking outlet. We didn't have Livermore in midfield, and we just had too many centre backs on. So yeah, maybe something to learn from. Maybe do it a bit later, or maybe he'll keep gambling and keep making this sub earlier.
Well, he's lucky it came off today. We've managed to come away with 3 points, but I did think it just changed the rhythm of the game. I don't think we was as a threat going forward, and I would have loved to watch this Watford team go on and get a third, because I thought QPR was there for the taking at that point. Confidence were low, the fans would have just started to turn. So I would have wanted more out of it, and I think maybe a few minutes after these substitutions, Watford did have that chance to make it 3. It was a good ball into a box and Rivich headed over. But then minutes after that, QPR actually went up the other end and made it 2-1 in the end. It was Lyndon Dykes at the far post, a good ball into a box, but there was no one around him, and all he just had to do was just tap it in with his left foot, and it was 2-1. But I bet your heart was in your mouth when that went in, Cam.
Yeah, it was. And I realised this is going to be a long, what turned out to be another 20 minutes. Carbon copy of what we conceded against Chesterfield. Exactly the same goal. And look, Morris didn't have a great game today, nor did he against Chesterfield or away at Plymouth. I don't like digging him out because he's here as cover. It's just that Jamal Lewis is injured, so Morris has got to play. That's fine. He's a young kid. He's learning, but he's not good at stopping crosses from going in, and he just doesn't get enough on this one. It loops him very, very dangerously. Sear out is not picking up Dykes at all, and I mean, if there's anyone you want to be picking up in the box, it's got to be Lyndon Dykes, surely, the giant poacher. So I don't know. It wasn't great defending. It was a bit of a lapse in concentration, and we had to go and make it difficult for ourselves, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, and then 90 minutes came, 7 minutes added on time as well. It's like, Jesus Christ, I don't know where you got 7 minutes from there, Cam, either.
Well, I was expecting about 12 minutes, so
Oh, really? Okay, then you would have taken a 7 then.
Yeah. I was a little bit relieved when I saw 7.
Yeah, so 7 minutes of added on time, and then it came to 92 minutes. And Ben Hamer, super Ben Hamer in goal, with a fantastic save, a match-winning save to give Watford the 3 points. Fantastic save with his right hand to stop Dunn from scoring. And oh my God, Cam, he keeps doing this, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Performance after performance, big saves from Ben Hamer to win us games or points.
At what point does it stop being a purple patch? At what point do we say Ben Hamer really is this good?
Yeah,
Because it wasn't just that save that he made. There were other saves, and there was a moment in the first half where they played a ball in behind for Armstrong. He would have
yeah.
gotten the end of it, but Ben Hamer rushed out, headed it away. So that's the sort of assurance you want from your goalkeeper. That's what we weren't getting from Daniel Backman. And obviously, we said it before, he's just really composed with the ball as well. We saw Backman against Chesterfield. He liked giving the ball away, didn't he? And it's just night and day between him and Hamer. So yeah, I don't think we need to look for a goalkeeper immediately. I think Hamer will do at least until the summer.
Definitely. And Mark Schofield says Hamer again proving why he's ahead of Batman in the packing order. And like we've all said for weeks, he just gives that confidence of a back line, but he's backing it up with performances as well. Yes, he's calm, cool, and collective at the back, but he's a brilliant goalkeeper, and we're seeing that. Like you say, when are we going to stop saying that it's just a purple patch? When are we actually going to respect him and be like, you know what, he's a top 6 goalkeeper in the championship, because we're only 1 point away from a playoff, so he nearly is a top 6 goalkeeper in the championship. But I think credit where credit's due, and he was outstanding today. Him and Begovic are both 36 years of age, and I don't think Ben Hamer was playing like a 36-year-old the way he was diving around. And like you said, he was quick out of the box to win that header against Sinclair. He was quick off his line in the second half when Sinclair was 1-on-1. Like having a big lad like Sinclair running down on you, I think Batman would have maybe hesitated and would have stayed on his line a little bit, and then Sinclair would have tried to take it round him. But it was quick off his block and to narrow the angle for him. And I just think he's been absolutely fantastic, Ben Hamer. And it's a free transfer from Swansea City as well. You got to remember he was out of contract, same as Jake Livermore, out of contract. And this is what I'm liking about this Watford team at the moment. We're picking up these free agents with experience. They've got a British core to them as well, so we've got a bit more of a British spine of a team, and we're seeing the rewards of it, aren't we, Cam?
We are, yeah. And Rob mentioned when he was here that he wants a homegrown team, not just for the rule about it, but because it will make it easier to bring the squad together. And we ended up with players from all over, and we've had players from all over for years now. Like throughout our decline, we've not really had an English core for a long time, so it's refreshing. It's making a very together squad. You can see how much they like Ben Hamer and they like Jake Livermore. I remember at Preston, full-time celebrations, they're all pushing Ben Hamer towards us because he made some fantastic saves, and they were doing the same with Livermore today. He was,
I love that.
Yeah, it was brilliant. He was being quite modest, he was just sort of stood at the back clapping, but Porteous and someone else grabbed him and pushed him forward, and you can tell these two senior figures they weren't expected to be this influential for us, but they're having a massive impact on us. I mean, I'd go as far as saying I don't think we could have turned our form around after Sunderland if these two hadn't come into the team. I don't know if that's unpopular or not, but they are absolutely pivotal to everything we do.
I think they're the characters that you kind of need, especially when it was starting to go a bit sour with Watford. Like performances weren't there, the results definitely weren't there, and Val kept them in that dressing room for over an hour after the defeat at Sunderland. And it can't be a coincidence that the form has picked up since Jake Livermore's been a starter. Ben Hamer's came in goal now, taking Daniel Backman out the firing line. It can't just be a coincidence. And what I like so much about those the Watford players at the moment, when at the end of the game when they're celebrating and they're pushing out the other player to get the recognition that they deserve from their fans, that's acknowledgement from their teammates going, you know what, we can see what you've done today, and this is your moment. Go get your applause. And that's what I really like about this team. And I say team because we haven't had a team for the last 3 years or so, and it's so refreshing and rewarding to see a Watford team actually give a shit for each other and care for the badge. And it's so rewarding, and it's fantastic to walk away from Loftus Road thinking, you know what, it weren't the prettiest game today, but you know what, I will take that over a mind-numbing, boring performance, because at least the players gave a shit today, didn't they, Cam? Like, the togetherness was there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like you say, it wasn't perfect at all. We weren't quite at the races today compared to our usual standards. And I don't think we've been perfect in any of these recent away games we've won. But that's the league we're in. You're not going to go to another team's ground and blow them away. I'd bet next month against Rotherham, it could be quite a tight game. But I'd still expect us to, give our all, and we'd probably have a good chance of winning. So, yeah, it's nice to see that we can win away games when we're not playing at our best. And it is down to that character, and it is down to that sort of togetherness that we talked about. I remember I think it was 3 away games last season where, we went 2-0 up, Reading, Coventry, Sunderland, drew all of them 2-2, and we completely collapsed in those games. We did not collapse today. I think other than, there are a few shaky moments where Hamer was called into action and the goal we conceded. But other than that, we managed the game very, very well. Stoppage time, QPR hardly got a kick, really, because, we kept them out of it. And that's how far this team's come, because we did not collapse there.
Yeah, what I want to quickly mention as well, you're saying about QPR didn't really have much of a ball at all in that second half, in injury time. Credit where credit's due to Rajovic. He managed to keep the ball up the opposition half by the corner flag for a good 30 seconds, and we got a throw off the back of that. And I don't know about you, Cam, but that's what I want to see from my striker. That's what I want him to add to his game and build on, because if he can do that and help the team, because I heard the reception that the away fans gave to Rajovic after that, and that's what we need, isn't it, Cam?
Yeah, we don't dig out our players anymore, clearly, in the away end. We've started to sort of buy into this, and Rajovic was a bit better today. He was running the channels and he was holding it in the corner very well. One observation that needs to be made, because this was really confusing to me, and I think a lot of people were confused. I don't know if the Sky cameras picked it up, but he was absolutely knackered. And there was one moment after he'd put a ball into the box. It was quite a good ball, went behind for a corner. He was sort of, hands on knees, sort of keeled over, knackered. I don't know what it was, because he'd only been on for about 10 minutes, and maybe that bug that's been going around has sort of got to him. It was weird to me, but no, I thought he put in a good shift holding the ball up, and yeah, fair play to him.
Yeah, that's what I want to see more of him now. We've seen him do it today, so he has obviously got that bit about him. So, yeah, if you're watching this, Rajovic, that's what we want to see from you. We want to see more of that, because we know you can stick the ball in the back of the net, and you just need to add to your game. So that's what we're looking for. But Cam, I know you want to talk about one player in particular that impressed you today, and it's Georgie Chapfadesky. I was the same as you. I saw your tweet earlier. I've not had a chance to tweet about my thoughts on the game yet, but I saw your tweet, and that's exactly how I thought. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And as Adam says, Dave, I just thought he was fantastic. And if anything, I think that's probably one of his best performances in the Watford shirt overall. I thought defensively he was outstanding.
Yeah, he's a big part of why we were able to manage that game so well. The tackles he was winning, they're sort of what, a Jake Livermore would be winning, a seasoned defensive midfielder, not an attacking midfielder / winger that's playing in midfield. He was everywhere and he worked very, very hard. He's played his way into the team over the festive period. He's not in because Kayembe's injured. He would have been in, Kayembe or no Kayembe, he would have been in because he deserved it the way he's been playing. He's been, off the ball, he's been working very, very hard. On the ball, he's been just a really good ball carrying threat that sort of he keeps the attacking momentum for us. And that first half today was flat, but you could point to him and Yasser and say they are giving us something going forwards. And that only elevated in the second half when we got a lot better.
I'm loving them two playing together alongside each other in the midfield. I think that them two, they link up really well to each other and they complement each other really well as well. But Georgie, I thought he was absolutely outstanding today. And like we all know, he's fantastic at ball carrying and he carried that ball hundreds of yards today. But the defensive work he put in really impressed me today. Really impressed me. And there was a moment that I think he won a challenge or a tackle just in front of Val in the 90th minute, and all the players off the bench were on their feet applauding him, and Val was giving him the high fives as well. And that's what we needed. And I thought absolutely outstanding. So, Cam, if big question next, who was your man of the match?
Oh my word! Well, they've got the three selections right because it is one of those three.
Let us know in the comments as well, everyone who's watching tonight, who your man of the match would be.
It feels obvious to give it to Jake for the 2 goals, and but he was good other than the 2 goals. Oh, I don't know. This is impossible. I don't know. I'm gonna stick with Chakvetadze. I think he was just fantastic.
I was having a look on SofaScore earlier to see who their man of the match was, and they've obviously gone for Jake Livermore. They gave him 8.4 out of 10, and then second to that was actually, that's really strange. They've given 3 players 7.2, which is the highest, second highest rated players, and they've given it to Mateus Martins, Yasser Asprilla, and James Morris.
Martins did get an assist in there.
Yeah, I guess that does help. And I gave Georgie 6.9.
I guess they can't account for all the running he does, can they?
Yeah. But yeah, I think Jake Livermore probably has to win man of the match just because of the 2 goals. But I preferred Georgie's performance. And then you can't not talk about Ben Hamer either for man of the match. You can maybe, well, I think you got a case for Hamer and Livermore for what they actually contributed, as in saves and goals. So it would have to be one of those 2. We have got some comments. Ross has gone for Hamer. He thinks Hamer's his man of the match. Mark Schofield's gone for surely Livermore for scoring 2 21s, a 20-yarder even. George White has gone for Livermore. iBedless says James Morris looked very good right now. Matt 2890 for me, Ben Hamer, as without some of those important saves he made in the second half, we would have drawn today. So it's split between Hamer and Jake Livermore here. Joe's gone for Hamer as well. That save was safe for the season so far. Jess has also gone for Hamer as well. So actually, I think Hamer's won it, really, out of all the votes that we've had today. So yeah, all right, then. Thank you.
To mention another name though, because I think we stopped talking about him because he just performs every week now. Wesley Hoot, I thought he was incredible today. He was sort of the rest of the back 4 weren't at it in the first half, and he kept it together. But second half, he was at his normal brilliant levels as well, and he sort of kept us ticking as he normally does. He kept our momentum going forward, and obviously solid as a rock as usual.
I think he's becoming Mr. Reliable really at the back, isn't he? And that captain armband just suits him because it helps his performance, I think. And I think this is a good shout as well from Joe Pollock as well when he came on, put in a great shift. And let's talk about Pollock a little bit as well because he's rumoured to be going out on loan, isn't he, to Charleroi over in Belgium. I don't know what's going on with that at the moment. Obviously, seeing him picking up minutes today, but I thought he won every header that came into the box in that last 10 minutes when QPR were that's all they was doing was just throwing balls into the box. What did you make of Pollock's appearance?
Yeah, he was entirely down the other end when he came on, so I couldn't really see who was winning the headers. I just saw that someone was. Did well for the large part of what I saw. I think with the whole sort of him going out on loan, it does make a lot of sense. He's a young player. He needs to be playing a lot more than he is. We've got 3 right centre-backs right now and 1 left-footed centre-back. So if we can sort of make that trade, get a left-footed centre-back in, obviously that Antonio Tikvic has been mentioned, but I'm guessing that's sort of their priority at the minute. And then that will let us loan out Matty Pollock, and it could have a future for us. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, I'm liking that he is picking up minutes for Watford at the moment, and he is doing a job as well, and he's not let us down this season either. And I think that's good for him as well because obviously he had an absolute mare away to Millwall last year, and that's probably been haunting him ever since he got shipped out on loan to Aberdeen last season. But he's came back and that's not looked like it's affected him at all. He's been really quite strong mentality, and he's showing that he can be leaned on when called upon. So fair play to Matty Pollock there. But yeah, I think we'll probably wrap it up there. So Watford winning 2-1 away to Queen's Park Rangers, and it's probably going to be the last time we play QPR for a while in the league. They're 5 points adrift from relegation, from safety at the moment. Sorry, they're second bottom. So they've got to go on one hell of a run really to get out of this. So it's a shame. It's probably another London away day. It's going to be gone. Obviously, it'll probably only leave us with Millwall next season. So that's going to be an interesting one. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching tonight. Do really appreciate it. If you do like the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well if you haven't already. And me and Mike are actually in the back midweek for a Bristol City review. So we've got a Bristol City fan lined up. So that'll be Wednesday midweek, I think about 7:30, 7:45. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But yeah, Watford are 1 point off the playoff after the victory today at Loftus Road. Things are looking up for Watford. We have an incredible away form. We just need to transition that into home form, hopefully soon. But let's see if we can continue that away form at Bristol City next weekend. Come on, you Warns.